Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Washington Live, powered by KCTC. I'm your host, Jaron Rosien. Our producer is Nick Steffens. Our publisher is Matt Bryant, and we're part of the Southeast Iowa Union. Later today, our guest will be Natasha Wilson from the West Fork Farmstead. And on Wednesday, our guest will be Phil Morris from the Latta Harris accounting firm. Looking forward to those conversations. Quick housekeeping, if you have a birthday shout out, stick that in the chat. Email washialive@gmail.com. If you haven't done so already, hey, please click that like and follow so you get notified when we go live. You can watch then, you can watch later. But if you haven't followed, we would love for you to do so and grow our show together. All right, let's chat. Hi, Nick. Good morning.
Hello. I missed you over the past, almost a week? Yeah, a week now.
It's been weird because I won't leave for a very long time, and then I kind of had a bunch of things all at once.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like Wednesday or Friday. If in my brain, I start my days Monday, Wednesday, Friday with you, and then when you're not here, it doesn't feel like it's Wednesday or Friday.
Well, you are kind. As I sent you some photos, and you have some too. My first absence was for fun, and I got to go to the Mark Twain National Forest, or had the opportunity. This last one was all work. So here's our city crew at the Iowa League of Cities Municipal Conference in Waterloo, Iowa. Learning and socializing. There's networking as a part of it too, but all daytime learning and nighttime networking. Then I got a babysit on the way back. This is Lincoln and Carter. Melt my heart. Janae, my sister, had a volleyball tournament, and her husband Braden, so I did a morning babysitting chunk and spent the night there Friday. And then here's my other photo to share. This is the latest. This was 10 minutes ago in Washington, Iowa. The mural on the southeast side of the square is coming right together. I wonder if he finishes. You can see the H needs to happen, and it appears he's working on the W. Mm-hmm. And I really like this location. I'm so happy it landed there.
And I drive past it every morning on my way to work, and I'm just amazed how quickly. I thought it was going to be a long time because I don't know enough about murals.
Sometimes
I guess
they take a while, yeah.
But the guy's making great time, and it looks amazing.
Well, and if anyone's not aware, this was through a contest with a submitted video and then votes, and it was through, I believe, the IEDA, Economic Development Authority for Iowa, and we won this mural in a competitive process. Yeah. So what did you do? You have something funny to tell us.
So my girlfriend came down for the weekend, and we had a fall weekend since it's finally October, and I got us matching Halloween pajamas.
That's
except I didn't realize that they say mummy and dadcula. And so when I posted on Instagram, I had to say, this is not a pregnancy announcement. This is just me not realizing that the pajamas.
Congratulations on the matching outfits.
Yes, and then
that would really escalate things.
And then here is we made jack-o'-lanterns. Mine's on the right. I went for something spookier, and then hers is a cat.
Oh, I like it. So you've dated for how long?
11 months and 3 days.
So this is your first Halloween together.
Yes, it is. We met right after Halloween.
Well, very sweet.
Yes.
Well, you didn't get in enough trouble to land in the police report.
I did not.
It seems like everything was successful for you.
Yes.
Let's do the police report. We'll do weather. We'll go to break, and then very much looking forward to the conversation with Natasha after our first break. Since someone last spoke, there's been 8 calls for service in the police report. Traffic is back to leading the way. Sex offender checks in second place. Animals in third, welfare checks 7, family offense 6, and then we have the 5 and under for the arrests: fire, public service, disorderly conduct, civil disputes, some court order stuff, some hang-up calls, just a few little things. I do have a local event to mention. If you're watching today, Monday the 3rd, there is a homeless forum from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. Light refreshments provided at the United Presbyterian Church. They did one in the afternoon. This is ideally so people can ask questions, get information, and go straight to the source of the leaders at the homeless shelter with any concerns or questions that you might have. If you're able, make it a point to attend. I'll be there. I think I have a facilitating role, which is good. It'll keep me on my best behavior. Otherwise, I get a little bit.
Yeah.
But we want to stay solution oriented. I digress. 5 highlights. Thank you for pulling them, Nick. Highway 1, officer reports being out with a possible disabled vehicle parked near the tree line with an open door. 109 advises everything is fine. The subjects were hunting, forgot to close the door. So Good Samaritans were concerned. We have of vandalism, criminal mischief in the north part of the county. Reports someone tripped the breakers on the outside of the building. This has been happening a few times since Wednesday night. It is also affecting the business next door. No financial loss at this time. 92.8 responded, no damage, documentation.
If your goal is to be annoying, I think that's like the crime to commit.
Well, is it tripping the breakers or shutting them off?
I think it's shutting them off.
Tripping would be unrelated.
Yeah, so I think they're shutting them off, and that's like the definition of mischief, and that would just be annoying.
At least there is no permanent damage like the forking that was so...
Yes, I'm glad they're off the streets.
Yeah. All right, Lexington Boulevard reports a person laying on the ground, unsure if she fell out of her wheelchair. 9211 made contact with the subject who refused any assistance. She's taking a nap and saving up energy to get to a residence in town. This is
I hope she made it.
I want to know the rest of the story, but maybe that's it. I'm glad everyone's okay.
Yes.
First and foremost. Because, I did hear in the middle of the night there was a page that went out for a car accident. I think they're all okay, too. Someone drove their vehicle. I don't know if it made this call or not.
I think I saw it on the list. I think it was okay.
Yeah, I believe they drove into a bean field off of 218. Mm-hmm. I believe they were fined and arrested for an OWI in the first.
Yes.
So that is too bad also.
Yeah.
But everyone is alive. We have a report for the music at the Wellman Rec Center being too loud. 92.9 responded and spoke with someone from the wedding party and advised them of the complaint. This was at 10:06 p.m. So they waited right till 10 and then...
They're like, okay, pack it up.
Turn the volume down. We have one other on Dogwood where a caller reports his ex-wife asked to borrow the car and now refuses to bring the car back. He has no way to get to work. 9213 spoke with the caller, civil matter. As we've discussed before, so often our men in blue and women in blue are sometimes therapists, counselors, otherwise social workers and officers of the law.
Well, I'm glad that guy could see the best in people and trust his ex-wife and give her the car. I mean, it didn't turn out well for him, but I'm glad he had that faith.
Acts of kindness.
Yes.
As we speak, the weather you printed is 58 degrees and mostly cloudy. When I woke up this morning, it was 44 degrees. I believe it's supposed to get up to 74. We're in the fall, right? It's cool at night. Sun goes up. Gets hot.
It was like 95, and then next day it was fall.
And do we have more hot weather on the horizon and then cold too? It's going to be a little roller coaster, I'm sure.
There's probably going to be, a second summer coming up since the Midwest.
Perfect. Well, I think we're ready to go to break. Is that correct?
I believe so.
You're watching Washington Live, powered by KCTC. Stick around and enjoy the conversation coming up with Natasha Wilson. We'll see you in a second.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
Emmy, I don't trust stairs.
Why?
Because they're always up to something.
Welcome back to Washington Live, powered by KCTC. I'm your host, Jaron Rosien. I'm with Nick, and now our guest today, Natasha Wilson. Hi, Natasha. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
To talk about what, of course, Natasha and I go way back. We grew up just down the road. Some church stuff.
Yep.
Piano. I was at Iowa piano. If you recall, at the University of Iowa together, a little overlap. And then I followed your footsteps all the way to South America. Remember, I was in Santiago.
Yeah.
In the same program.
That's such a cool thing. Yeah.
So super excited to talk to you about what has happened between then and now. There's a lot to cover. Of course, it's the West Fork Farmstead. That's the family farm.
Yep.
Before we talk about the products and the amazing things that Natasha's doing at the farm, I always like to start with a little background. Can you share how you've landed back in your home turf area, and what brought you back. Tell us what you've been up to.
Sure. Kind of a long and winding journey. I was trying to think about how to explain it and be concise. It's hard. I grew up on the farm. We're just north of Westchester. Yes, like I said, just a few minutes from you. And my parents were farmers, are farmers. They did hogs and corn and soybeans. And it was an awesome childhood. I loved being on the farm, but I think I never saw myself farming. That just
and that was the traditional Iowa farm,
Yeah.
and I think you've kind of broke into a whole new category of farming
Right.
At home.
Yeah, so we're doing something different. So, I left. I went to college. I wanted to travel. My loves are reading and writing, and so I always thought I either wanted to be a writer or a lawyer. So I went to Iowa.
You have a law degree as well, which is awesome.
I have a law degree. I worked before law school. I worked after law school. So I was gone probably, I think, 17 years total.
We're old enough to say things like 17 years.
It is
that
like
weird?
I graduated from high school 20 years ago.
Like, oh no.
So I did a lot of traveling. I worked different jobs. I practiced law, moved all over the place, and I just enjoyed all that a lot. I had a lot of great experiences, but I kind of always felt this pull back towards home. I wanted to go out and see the world, and then I went and I missed home. I missed Iowa, and so little by little, it kind of crept back this way, and then I was living in St. Louis, and
And you went to law school in St. Louis, is that correct?
I did. I went to law school in St. Louis. I met my husband there in law school, and he's from St. Louis, and I think we thought we'd land there, but he kind of stumbled across a job in Des Moines that he was really interested in, and we're like,
Well, I guess
Okay.
we're going to go this direction.
I guess we'll go this direction. So we moved to Des Moines. I practiced there too, and honestly, I had kind of a moment that I can remember that the office I worked in, if you worked on the weekends, the overhead lights were off, and you had to walk across the office and push a button, and then after 2 hours they would turn off. So
Oh,
it
that
was kind of
sounds
this,
terrible.
It was this thing that was would kind of bleakly remind you how long you had been there, because you had to get up and go and turn
You're
it on.
doing a reset, and I just worked 6 hours this weekend.
Done this 4 times already, yeah. And I was there, and I was.
Where were you at in Des Moines? I don't think I realized there was that stop along the way.
There was. We both worked for the Attorney General, which is where my husband still works.
Well, I'm glad that's flexible, because Zach is an attorney and
Yes.
found that spot.
Yep, he did, and that's been wonderful. I was kind of walking along, turning the light on, and I thought, oh my gosh, if I'm going to work this hard, I really would love to love what I do and be really passionate about it. And I don't know why farming popped into my head. I had never really seriously thought about doing that, but I remember calling my dad and being like, what if I came back? We've talked about what you're going to do with the farm. What if I did? And I think he thought I was goofing off, because I don't know.
It wasn't, you have a law degree, you're in St. Louis.
Right, I'm
probably
practicing
didn't-
law, I've been moving.
In Des Moines, yep.
Yeah, but they, we started a conversation, and it was a long one, like a year and a half of talking and kind of thinking about what we could do, what that future might look like. Like I said, I was really grateful for the farm they built and the work they did, but I didn't see that particular operation as a future for me. And so we were talking about what we could do differently, what that would look like.
Well, I'm excited to get into that in a second. We'll talk about what you've created or been creating with your family. Would you share a little bit about your family? You and Zach, we were talking about how organized and planning and who we blame for our control.
Yeah.
But you have 2 lovely children, and we mentioned both my sister and yourself, surprises, because there's so few nice surprises in life.
Yeah, so I have 2 little kids, a daughter who's 3, Corrine, and my son Lucian is just 5 months old. And the surprise was we didn't find out if we were having a girl or a boy with either of them. We just wanted to see what happened.
And happy to have healthy
to have
young ones, yeah.
healthy kids, yeah, and they're wonderful. So we moved back when Corrine was about 3 months old.
Okay.
So, and that was a big part of it too. This is a life that we were excited to have for our children, and I mean, Corrine loves the farm. She loves the animals. She loves getting out there to help. And Lucian doesn't know how he feels yet, being 5 months old, but
He'll figure it out.
He'll figure it out. It's a really great place for our kids.
Well, your socials are great, and we will plug that into the chat, the West Fork Farmstead Facebook page, and then there's a page for some ordering. But you do such a great job with the photography and showing the animals and exactly what I suppose people are getting with their products. Let's talk a little bit about that before we go to break. You came back. you're creating new things on the farm, and then you're also showing that to people via the Facebook. What all are the changes? We had corn, soybeans, hogs, and was there did you have cattle?
No, not really. So my parents, for a while before I came back, had been finishing a couple cattle a year, just kind of to have it. And so my dad and then my mom got some experience. We do grass-fed cattle, which is kind of an art. Like, it's tricky to figure out how to do that right. And so they spent some years, kind of just practicing on their own. But
is it the rotation and the appropriate nutrition so they're getting plenty of that?
Yeah.
Do you supplement with any other grain, or it's just grass?
Not for the cattle. It's, it has like a pretty diverse array of things planted out in the pasture to give them the different nutritional things that they need, but we don't feed them any grain. It's all just grazing on the pasture, and then in the winter we make hay from the different pasture areas too and feed that.
That makes sense.
Yep. So
grass-fed cattle would be one category. What are some of the other categories of things that are now available?
Yep. So we do that. So one of the big changes when I first was coming back was they got a grant to put in some permanent fencing, and we converted 60 acres that used to be corn and soybean fields into a permanent perennial pasture.
So that was a big change. Yeah.
Big change. Big infrastructure change. That is like the most spectacular place on the farm now. My mom said the other day she wanted to go just like take a book and go sit by the chickens out there because it's just peaceful. There's birds and butterflies and bugs and all beautiful flowers and plants, and it's just really nice.
Well, those are the roots. I think about fire. I think about water. Simple pleasures that just seem to reset the person, and that makes sense to me.
It is, yep. So the cattle out there, they rotationally graze. We raise pastured chicken, and so they're out on the pasture this time of year too. We raise some different.
So we have chicken, or you have chickens for eggs, and you have chickens for
meat
eating
also.
as well.
Correct. Yep, exactly. So the eggs we do year round. Chicken we only raise in the summer when it's warm, but then usually have that kind of in supply. Okay. And then, the beef, and then we raise hogs outside too. We raise heritage, like Berkshire and Hereford, different heritage breeds of hogs, and raise those outdoors. And have pork, and then we have a little group of ducks. And
I remember trying the duck eggs; they're very large.
Yes, they're huge. They have huge yolks. Those are fun. And then my dad's also a beekeeper, and so we process raw honey. So.
I think I forgot about the bees.
Yep.
And so I've been getting eggs and sausage and bacon because I love to do breakfast, brunch, Saturday, Sunday. That's kind of my routine, and it's been super easy because you're delivering all around the area. Ordering was super easy. It remembered my car. It was. Slick system. So
I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah, I'm glad too. It just makes it a lot easier because sometimes I click on something like that, then I get distracted and I don't follow through with the order, and it was easy to follow through.
Thank you. I'm super glad.
Well, we did drop the ball on. So I saw on your carton that you can reuse the cartons just because the circle, and I intended to reuse the second carton, and then Andy had used half the eggs, and I looked over and he was like sawing through the carton. I'm like, well, next time.
Yeah, it's okay.
I had thought we would try. I think we do need to go to break in a second. And when we come back, it's so great to go to break. We can remember anything we've forgotten and maybe talk about some of the things that you haven't done that you want to, or some of the things that are most popular. So stick around to Washington Live. I'm joined by Natasha Wilson talking about the West Fork Farmstead. We'll see you right after this next break.
Since 1905, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company has helped our community stay connected with the latest advancements in clear, dependable telecommunications services. KCTC provides rural Iowans with access to high-speed fiber internet, as well as phone, television, computer repair, and cybersecurity solutions. We're also proud supporters of local organizations and area schools within the community. KCTC, keeping Kelowna connected.
And welcome back. Our ads are a little shorter as we're in kind of a redo of advertising. If you'd like to advertise on Washington Live, you talk to Julie here at the Southeast Iowa Union, and she can share with you, there's the banner things, there's the video ads, that's all with Julie. Hi to our moms that watch, are some of our biggest fans. back to the bees are where we left off. Your dad is doing the bees, but you're learning some things with the.
I'm working on it. Yep. So with little tiny kids, I don't always do as much outside. It's nice that there's a lot of business and inside stuff to do too. But he's been beekeeping over a decade, I think.
Awesome. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's great. The having them around to pollinate, crops and pasture and stuff is really nice, and then we get this wonderful product out of it also, raw honey.
It's great that you can kind of focus your energy as you need to with growing the family, but I like seeing the pictures online because I saw you guys, didn't you just recently do a harvest and centrifugal force, there's like machines that spin the honey?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's actually a very simple process to get it out, but something I knew nothing about before I started doing this. So yeah, we have a big cylinder that we have a hand drill hooked up to, and you put the frames inside, and like you said, it spins it really quick and flings the honey out a little bit here and
a little bit there.
Yep.
Makes sense.
And that's it. We just, and then we put it in bottles and out.
We'll have to do a field trip and show you some of these things.
Yeah, it's cool.
I mentioned before, is there an area, what's the most popular items that people are drawn to? And is there an item that you'd like to expand into or do more with, or something that you're not doing that you'd like to, if you could wave a wand? I know that's a two-part question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, great question. Popular, my mom does the hens, and she does a fabulous job. I have heard from so many people that they just, the eggs, they love the eggs. They have that super rich yolk, and it comes from the hens really are like out wandering around all over the place, foraging and picking, and she just takes really good care of their health too.
And I would agree with that. I sometimes forget, and I'll have two types of eggs in the fridge, and not that it matters, but one would be for baking, and the other is for over easy and breakfast, and like where you can really taste it. And I love saving the eggs from your place to use where I have the most impact. Anyway, I'm blabbering on, but I think you know what I mean.
No, thank you. And then the meat stuff, that's all been really great, thankfully. Ground beef and steaks, the whole chickens. People really like the pork chops and ground pork. I think that's something that's really different, having those different pigs and having them outside. So, I think it depends on the time of year.
And I think since we're promoing, you can do I do these smaller orders, or not huge, but you can do was there a half and a quarter hog?
True. Yep. So
you can do a bigger all-in-one order too.
Yeah. Thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, we do offer those different. So some customers do the bulk, half hog, a quarter beef, and then we also offer cuts. And so you can order, a couple packages of sausage links and some eggs, or you can get, a whole cow. And so, different options to serve different people's needs.
Which is perfect for my freezer space. And since we're talking about it, that's what we mentioned. We'll put in the chat. We'll throw the Facebook page into our chat, and maybe the ordering page too for those that want to check it out, because that's why we're here.
Yeah.
What is something that you'd like to do that you haven't? Is there anything your dad or mom or it sounds like you have plenty on your plate.
Yeah.
So there doesn't have to be anything.
Well, no, sometimes I feel like the list of things we want to do is endless, because there's just, it's part of what's really fun about, I love about farming. I love about farming the way we are is you could never stop learning. You feel like on the one hand, my parents have farmed for over 40 years and have all of this expertise and knowledge, and yet they both say they're learning all of the time. And so, sometimes our list is it's just like a bunch of squirrels running around. What if we did sheep? What if we did this? What if we, but in a more practical sense, we talked about things like, I know my dad is interested in raising more small grains to integrate into the feed for the pigs.
Oh, yeah.
We make our own pig feed. We don't make our own chicken feed right now, but we've talked about that. Some more diversity in their rations. Pasturing the pigs, we have them outdoors now, but we don't have them in the pasture. Because pigs are very destructive in pasture.
That's their nature.
Right. Try to think about whether or not that's something that we'd want to do and could work. And then, I don't know, it's kind of a long list of things like that, both improving or continuing to think about what we're doing now and what that could look like in the future. And
well, it is fascinating and practical. And as I was thinking about animals that wander, like Martha Stewart had a whole herd of, it's not a herd, what is it called with peacocks?
I don't know. On the spot, I don't know.
She has wandering animals. That was one of our news stories because some coyotes got into her property and
I guess ate
a bunch of the peacocks, her beautiful prized peacocks. Horrible. They do not make much sense though. That they're for looks.
No, yeah, it is true. It's all this stuff is like beautiful, but each animal has a different challenge of kind of when you have them out and they really are roaming, keeping them contained and where they're supposed to be. So
All unique.
Yeah, it's all unique.
Well, I really enjoyed our conversation. We also asked you to play the birthday game. That's what we're going to close out
Okay.
with. We have some birthday shout outs, and it looks like we have 7 celebrity birthdays to randomly guess ages of.
Oh, wow.
Not randomly. I'm not good at it.
I'm sure I'll be terrible. Yeah.
Before we do that, is there anything that we've missed that you can think of or anything that you'd like to mention?
No, I guess thanks for mentioning the delivery. I guess I didn't mention that. One of the main ways we kind of get food out for people is every other Thursday throughout the whole year. We do deliver in Washington, Wellman, Kelowna, and then the Iowa City area.
Washington, Wellman, Kelowna, the Iowa City area. So every other Thursday for delivery. And when would those orders need to be in by?
The day before. So I always have it listed on our website. You can go see the next one coming up is, I think in this case, it's like October 13th. But
Okay.
yeah, as long as people get it in usually by the day before, I can have it ready.
We will put that in the chat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Anything from you?
It's
Do we have a
cold in
national
Austin.
day or something to announce almanac style?
There is a national day. It's Ostentation is a group of peacocks. I googled it.
Whoa.
Thank you.
I'm surprised you didn't know that off the top of your head.
He's
an
terrible at
ostentation.
math, but he's very good at many other things. So.
And it's a National Boyfriend Day, which I thought my girlfriend was lying to me this morning about it, but it turns out it actually is. So.
Well, congratulations to you then,
Thank
since
you.
you are the only boyfriend at the table right now. I have some birthday shout outs before we play the birthday game. Angie Simmering has a birthday today. Mark Redlinger just had a birthday. Angie Boyce in Wellman. Michelle Redlinger just had a birthday. And coming up, our Jim Howard has a birthday on the 4th, and Randy Williams just had a birthday. Happy birthday to all of you and to the celebrities who we're going to embarrass ourselves trying to guess ages of. Nick, take it away.
So for the birthday game, I'm going to put a celebrity whose birthday is today on the screen. You have to guess their age. If you're within 3 years, you get a point. If you get right on, you get 2 points. So are you ready?
Clarifying question. Are they current photos?
Yes, I try to get as current as possible.
Okay, thanks.
So
And if
first,
they're not, you can quickly tell, like, wait a second.
I know this person.
first up, we have Noah Schnapp from Stranger
this is
Things.
Stranger Things.
And they keep making him do this bowl cut every season, and I feel so bad for him.
Would you like to go first? And then I have to remember to do every other. So you'll go first with
Boy.
Noah.
I feel like when people are supposed to be young in TV, they're always way older than you think.
Yeah.
Have you watched Stranger Things? It's probably not child appropriate. There's a
Yeah.
little gore in there.
Right, maybe a season of it. I don't know. 22. No idea.
And I'm going to say 18.
He is 18, so Jaron.
All right. I'm going to take it.
On the spot.
I didn't know, but I knew that they were a little younger in that one.
Now, next we have, if I can, ASAP Rocky with the S is a money sign. So
I do see that. I have the little letters, so that's how it's spelled.
Oh,
but that's
sure.
helpful. I guess I'll go first and throw out 29.
I want to say 30.
You're playing it kind of like Price is Right.
I guess so. I don't
I do that
you're
too.
getting so close. He's 34.
So we both did no point for
points.
either.
Next up, we have Gwen Stefani. If I can cycle through all the photos we have here.
All right, there's Gwen.
There is Gwen.
Well taken care of, but I think you can guess first.
49.
48.
She is 53.
Oh, we are, well, zeros again.
Zeros
Go
again.
higher.
I just lucked out with the first one. We have 3 more.
Next up is Tessa Thompson, was in the Men in Black reboot, in the new Thor movies. I'm trying to think she's in something else.
She's in Westworld on HBO.
Westworld, that's what I was
which
trying to
is
think of.
fantastic.
I knew she was in another big title.
We did movie night on Friday. I accidentally watched a movie about a child being abducted, so then my sister had terrible
Oh, no.
sleep, and then she's leaving her children to be babysat. I digress. But
Yeah, can't watch those.
am I first on Tessa?
Sure.
49.
Oh, man.
Am I way high?
I don't know. I guess I'm going to say 35. I have just no idea.
We are really doing a 15
You keep
year
getting
age.
so close. She's 39.
Oh, man.
Did I win?
You didn't get a point. You're 10 years off.
Oh.
39. You said 49.
I forgot. This is how great. All right, two more.
Tommy Lee, there on the right.
That's a whole
Motley
thing.
Crue.
Yep, I remember.
Just played by Sebastian Stan in that new Hulu show.
Yep, there was
about him and Pamela Anderson, their exploits.
Are you familiar with any of this? They had made the video. The video was stolen out of the safe because he didn't pay the contractor that was remodeling his house.
Oh.
The contractor stole their private video.
Oh, dear.
The video made it around the entire world. There was a lawsuit. It's a very
And there's a Hulu show about it
Salacious.
now, and I think it's Seth Rogen plays.
the contractor.
Yeah.
Again, probably after the kiddos go to bed.
Yeah, it's a very inappropriate movie.
The Hulu show is pretty funny. It's a whole thing. Okay, so
not know about
who's
that.
first for Tommy Lee?
I believe Natasha. I believe you're.
Yeah.
Boy, 65.
61.
He is 60. So Jaron, you get another point.
I normally like to lose or at least tie because it's like the gracious host thing to do. But,
I can live with it. I won't hold it against you.
Okay, and you won't get this lovely trophy.
Oh, well, I didn't know
call
there were
it
prizes.
Trinket, and our publisher gets upset. Like, it is a trophy turn. Now, we have one more before we close out today's show. Thanks to all of our listeners, our viewers rather, for watching. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
We have one more before we close out.
It is Lindsey Buckingham from Fleetwood Mac.
Oh,
I've been told I need to include older celebrities in this game.
who told you that?
Matt, our publisher.
Okay, well, very good. Lindsey Buckingham, 65.
Ooh, I'm going to go with 75.
Put yourself on the board. He is 73. Did not get shut out.
So I have a 3-1, which is anybody's game. Thank you for playing this
Yeah,
silly game.
sure.
It's just a light way to end our show. And for talking about West Fork Farmstead. We'll put all of that in the chat so you can check it out too. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jaron.
And thank you for watching Washington Live, powered by KCTC. We'll see you on Wednesday with guest Phil Morris. Thank you, Nick. We'll see you soon.